Good morning. Welcome to another session of MCN201 Sustainable Engineering. In the last class, we were discussing about solid waste management, and today we will discuss on greenhouse gases, global warming, and so on. So, before we start, let us go through a quote. The greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else will save it, by Robert Swan. So still we are in module 2, and today in this session we will be discussing greenhouse effect and global warming. So before coming to greenhouse gases, let us see some newspaper articles. This article is dated, I'm sorry the date is not here. Anyway, the Kenya brings in world's toughest plastic bag ban. 4 years jail or $40,000 fine. So producing, selling and using plastic bags becomes illegal in Kenya. This is another news article dated September 2017. Delhi's Ghazipur landfill collapse. 2 dead as mountain of trash sweeps many into nearby canal. Very unfortunate. Hindustan Times, New Delhi. So these are some of the facts about the Ghazipur landfill collapse. Every day 10,000 tons of garbage is generated in Delhi alone. The landfill has crossed the height of 50 meters and still 3,000 tons of garbage continue to be dumped here every day. The EDMC has not identified any other alternative site to dump waste so far. Commissioned in 1984 but not designed according to the Municipal Solid Waste Rules of 2000, which mandates all such dump sites to have eco-friendly garbage management facilities. The site has no certification from Delhi Pollution Control Committee and should have shut down in 2006. This is another news article dated September 2017. കേരളത്തോട് തമിഴ്നാട് നിങ്ങളുടെ മാലിന്യം ഇവിടെ വേണ്ട. So very relevant post. So moving on, this is another news article on Manorama, online Manorama, dated October 5, 2020. Polluting water, a non-bailable offence in Kerala. So this news article is dated 22 September 2017 but updated October 5, 2020. Okay. So be very careful. Polluting water, it is a non-bailable offence. So now we come to today's topic, greenhouse gases. The world emits around 50 billion tons of greenhouse gases every year. The gases majorly responsible for the greenhouse effects are methane, water vapor, carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide and ozone. So this is you can see the pie chart of non-greenhouse gases which constitute 99% and greenhouse gases constitute only 1%. So the atmospheric gases, a 78% is nitrogen, 21% oxygen and 2% water vapor, and the remaining argon, carbon dioxide, etc. only less than 1%. And out of the greenhouse gases, Carbon dioxide is 56.4%, methane 16.3%, halocarbons 11.6%, ozone 10.2%, and nitrous oxide 5.4%. So if you see the electromagnetic spectrum, which is shown here, so the diagram shows the entire spectrum of electromagnetic waves. The scale at which the bottom indicates representative objects that are equivalent to the wavelength scale. The atmospheric opacity determines what radiation reaches the Earth's surface. Here you can see the sun's emission of electromagnetic radiation, and you can see the graph peaks around the visible area. The sun emits electromagnetic radiation across most of the electromagnetic spectrum as a result of the nuclear fusion process going on in the sun. You should note that the peak of the sun's energy output is actually in the visible light area or range. This may seem surprisingly at first, since the visible region of the spectrum spans a fairly narrow range. And what a coincidence that sunlight should be brightest in the range our eyes are capable of seeing. Is it a coincidence? Imagine that our species had grown up on a planet orbiting a star that gave off most of its energy in the ultraviolet region of the spectrum. In such a condition, we would have evolved with an eyes that could see UV light. For light of that sort is what would be most brightly illuminating our planet's landscapes. And the same reasoning, or the same sort of reasoning, would apply to species that evolved on planets orbiting stars that emit most of their energy in the infrared range. They would most likely evolve to have IR sensitive eyes. So it seems that our eyes are tuned to the radiation that our star most abundantly emits. The sun emits electromagnetic radiations at many wavelengths across the EM spectrum. These images show the sun in the infrared, visible 4 different ultraviolet wavelengths, and in X-rays. Images taken in very narrow bands have the wavelength of the associated waves noted. Note that almost all of these images are false color representations, since our eyes cannot see X-rays or ultraviolet or infrared light. Now, what is natural greenhouse effect? Electromagnetic radiation of different wavelengths from the sun passes through the Earth's atmosphere. The Earth absorbs the electromagnetic radiation with short wavelengths, which are responsible for the Earth warming up. High wavelength infrared radiation is radiated from the Earth's surface. Part of the infrared rays radiated is absorbed by the greenhouse gases present in the atmosphere. As a result of this, the atmosphere begins to warm up. So you should note down that if there is no greenhouse effect, our atmosphere will be very, very cold. So a natural greenhouse effect is essential for our surviving. Now, the advantages of greenhouse effect is that our atmosphere will be sufficiently cool for our existence. So the carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide and the other gases are trapped in the Earth's atmosphere, keeping Earth warm. So this is a statistics of greenhouse gas emissions from top emitters, a survey taken in 2017. So China stands first, followed by United States, European Union, India in the 4th place, Russia 5th, Japan 6th and Brazil 7th. So you can see the percent of global emissions for China stands 24.3%. So these top 7 emitters are responsible for 2/3 of global GHG emissions. And this is a picture showing global greenhouse gas emissions by sector. As you see here, the major contribution of GHG gas is from the energy sector, followed by the agriculture and forestry, then industry, and finally the waste. And within the energy sector, you can divide into energy used in buildings for heating or cooling, the transport, the energy used in industries. So what are the consequences of greenhouse effect? It is listed here: rise in temperature of Earth's surface, melting of ice caps in polar regions, frequent and more cyclones or hurricanes, decrement in biological productivity, surface water vaporizes faster, leading to drought, increased desertification, rise in sea levels, cities will start submerging in sea soon. Controlling the greenhouse effect. We should cut carbon dioxide or reduce the use of fossil fuels, promote biofuels, gas, renewable energy, solar, wind, restrict CO2 and CFC release from industries and automobiles, promote usage of unleaded petrol, catalytic converter and other pollution control techniques, afforestation, use of bicycles or clean transportation. Now next is global warming. Is the world getting warmer? If so, are the actions of mankind to blame for Earth's temperature increases? And finally, what can be done about these issues? Let us see a small video. A very painful video went viral in 2017. Highly emaciated polar bear foraging for food on an iceless island and finally collapsing. Global warming is the long-term heating of Earth's climate system observed since the pre-industrial period due to human activities, primarily fossil fuel burning, which increases heat trapping greenhouse gas levels in Earth's atmosphere. Since the pre-industrial period, human activities are estimated to have increased the Earth's global average temperature by about 1 degree Celsius. So this is a graph showing the temperature anomaly from 1880 to 2020. So you can see even in 2016, 1 degree centigrade increase has been observed in the average temperatures globally. So how you can stop global warming? First, speak up. Voice your concerns via social media or directly. Power your home with renewable energy. Reduce burning of fossil fuels. Weatherize. Building, heating and cooling are among the biggest uses of energy. So avoid using heating and cooling systems at home. Live with nature. Construct your house with maximum cooling or heating naturally. Invest in energy efficient appliances. Reduce water wastage, because when you waste water, this water comes through, or you are spending energy for the water to reach at your place. Eat the food you buy and make less of it meat. Don't waste food. Buy LED bulbs which consume less energy. Pull out the plugs. Don't leave fully charged devices plugged to outlets. They consume energy. Drive a fuel efficient vehicle. Switch from petrol and diesel cars to electric cars which are charged from solar plug points. Maintain your ride. Maintaining your vehicle is very important. It increases efficiency. Even a tire without proper air pressure can make the efficiency less. Rethink planes, trains and automobiles. And finally, shrink your carbon profile. So if each one of us follow these guidelines, we can stop global warming. These are some of the reference books you should go through, and there are a lot of resources in the internet too. With that, I wind up this section. I'm Dr. Unnikrishnan PC signing off. Thank you very much.